I want to talk about the expansion of the Robotaxi network in Austin. Just last night, Tesla came out and expanded the Robotaxi network significantly bigger than it used to be. It's now at a point where it's way, way bigger than Waymo's geofence. And it also includes this part of the city that's called the Domain. It's in the northwest of Austin, highly trafficked area, as well as a big chunk of the east part of Austin. And I also want to talk about the strategy that Tesla's likely to take here now that we have confirmation that Cybercab can have steering wheels and pedals. I made a video about this yesterday, but I want to continue fleshing out my thoughts here because it does have really big implications of how Tesla's going to approach the Cybercab and whatever other vehicles they're likely to build on the Cybercab line. So with the expansion of the Robotaxi network, this is something that Tesla achieved in about 4 months' time. They started with a little area in South Austin in June, late June, and then if fast forward 4 months later, they're now basically in the entirety of the city of Austin now, probably 80% of the boundary of Austin. So that's great, but there is a big issue with it right now, which is what I experienced just today, actually, just before I started recording my video, is that the wait times are really long. I think Tesla has done a great job expanding how quickly they've been able to cover the area that they're in. I think it speaks to the generalizability of the AI approach they're taking, where they're basically feeding a bunch of data to the AI brain and the AI brain's figuring out how to drive. We're seeing the results of that from FSD V14. It's able to do some insane maneuvers, basically anywhere in the United States. And so, of course, that's going to allow them to be in more areas in the United States and in more areas like Austin with a high level of certainty, with a high level of safety, to where the company can just say, yeah, we'll add these self-driving vehicles to the network. But the downside now is that they don't have the cars to match the size of that geofence in Austin. I tried multiple times to book a ride. I just couldn't get paired with a car. And anytime it seemed like I was going to get paired with a car, it was going to be a 30-minute wait. And then when I tried to pair it when it was a 30-minute wait, it just failed. Okay, so I think Tesla's at a point now where they need to add more cars to the Austin geofence. And I think they'll do this once they have enough data to prove this out from a safety perspective. The fleet has already increased recently. They went from about 13 cars to I think 18 or 20 cars or so. But in reality, they need to get to like at least 50, at least 100 cars to be able to service the geofence that they're in now. Fortunately for Tesla, they're actually in a great position to do that because the same vehicles that operate in the Robotaxi network are the same ones they sell to like you and me. It's the Model Y. It's the latest Model Y that they build. They make about 1 million of these per year, 1.2 million units of these per year. So it's not a supply issue that they're going to be facing. It's going to be more a, hey, we have enough data to be comfortable to add these cars to the additional geofence. And my hope is that something like V14 gets them there. So the latest version of FSD that's doing all these spectacular moves and stuff, I'm hoping that's the thing that allows them to do that. Perhaps the current version that they're running on right now, they're not as comfortable to move as quickly. Or maybe they're waiting to yank the safety riders, the people that have been in the cars here in Austin, before they release more cars, because they don't want to keep hiring safety riders and safety drivers, because of course that's additional headcount. And that defeats the purpose of having a self-driving network, where a lot of the benefits are going to be from not having a driver and recognizing those savings from a cost perspective so that you can run a very, very affordable rideshare service. My gut tells me Tesla will likely yank the safety riders before they add more cars to the fleet here in Austin. And maybe they'll go hand in hand. Maybe they'll yank the safety riders so they can add more cars to the geofence in Austin. But we're at the point now where this thing has to expand, especially if they want to invite more people to the network here in the city. They have to expand the fleet. They don't have nearly enough cars. So Elon, if you're watching this, please, I beg of you, I want to use the network and I can't. Now, in tandem with this, with the news yesterday from Robin Nedholm, the chair of the board of Tesla, where she said that the Cybercab will be capable to have a steering wheel and pedal system to appease regulators. I think the strategy that Tesla is going to be taking here for self-driving, Robotaxi, whatever, this FSD stack, this unique capability that Tesla has now to have self-driving transportation units, I think we're starting to see a lot more clarity, a lot more crystallization of the likely strategy Tesla's going to have here in the next 3 to 5 years. The big thing that people that follow Tesla closely, they've been thinking about is like, okay, so if Tesla is able to have self-driving, if Tesla's going to be able to build cars that drive themselves, why would they sell the cars? You know, why not just keep the car and then just basically rent it out or add it to a fleet so that people can hail it? You know, not very different from Uber, but instead of having a driver, you don't have a driver. And so what's the incentive for Tesla to sell those vehicles when they can operate their own fleet? Well, the biggest issue that Tesla has today is regulatory. So there is a limit to how many self-driving units can be built in the United States without a steering wheel and pedal. That's capped to about 2,500 units per year. You could get an exemption for that, but historically it's been difficult to do this. GM has tried to do this in the past. It just took too long. Not only that, but Elon Musk is getting into a public fight with Secretary Duffy. Secretary Duffy is one of the potential candidates for NASA, but more importantly, he's the Secretary of Transportation. And that person is in charge of the federal rule set for driving. And even though in the past he has said that he wants to come out with a federal framework for self-driving vehicles, I'm going to guess Elon picking a fight with him publicly is probably not going to help his cause too much. Not only that, states ultimately are the ones that are responsible in implementing the laws for a lot of these self-driving requirements. Okay. And so from that perspective, Tesla has a lot of regulatory hurdles to jump through to try and get to a point where they would just operate basically this Robotaxi network anywhere where you wouldn't need a steering wheel and pedal because, of course, the cars just drive themselves. Because of that, you have a lot of complexity. And one of the simplest ways to communicate this complexity that I was thinking about this morning is, okay, let's say Tesla does start making autonomous cybercabs without steering wheels and pedals. There's enough cities, let's say Austin, Orlando, Miami, California, the cities in California, Los Angeles, SF, whatever, Chicago. All these cities are like, yeah, we can have self-driving vehicles. And not only that, you're going to be able to operate them without steering wheels and pedals. And the federal rule set is removed or increased to such a point where Tesla can sell basically as many of these as they want in a lot of different ways. To transport these units from one city to another, it's going to be quite the logistical challenge. And the reason why is, let's say you preload Austin with a bunch of cybercabs, or you preload Chicago with a bunch of cybercabs without the steering wheels and pedals, and then regulations take a while, you don't get as much demand as you thought, the expansion of the geofence is going slower than you think, right? All of a sudden, you're going to have these units just stuck in place that you will not be able to just go in and drive to another place to use them somewhere else because they don't have steering wheels and pedals. You would literally have to put them on trucks and transport them that way. Whereas, let's say, like with a Model Y as an example, Tesla can very easily do the same exact thing with the Model Y. They can put Model Ys in operation. That's what they've done in Austin. But it just so happens those units have steering wheels and pedals. So moving those units is actually theoretically a little bit easier to do, or even better yet, just sell them. Just sell them to the public. And then that person can use that vehicle, let's say with either FSD unsupervised fully purchased once that version is out and about, or even supervised purchase. And then Tesla still makes money on that transportation unit instead of just sitting idle doing nothing. And so I think for the next 3 to 5 years, if I were to guess, this is conjecture from my point. I think people are going to be surprised by how many people choose to purchase a Tesla with a steering wheel and pedal, be it the Model Y, the Model 3, or the Cybercab with a steering wheel pedal, or Cybercab-like vehicle that's built in the Cybercab line with a steering wheel and pedal, and just owning that unit as their personal chauffeur that they never have to worry about. And it just so happens to have a steering wheel and pedal. When you get to the economies of scale of Cybercab, what you have to think through is that this is going to be a car that's going to cost no more than, say, $20,000 to build at scale, maybe 22, but probably 20 or less. And so you're going to be able to theoretically sell a vehicle that on some sort of subscription basis, let's say, like some sort of hybrid lease model, where you're going to say, okay, here's a two-seater vehicle, rather, or maybe even a 2x2, like a 4-seater, like a Mini Cooper style. Maybe you change the outside a little bit. Maybe you change the seat positions a little bit. You get rid of the sort of these butterfly doors, and then you add just regular doors, right? Instead of having these things that go out, reduce the complexity, reduce cost. Maybe make the door a little bit smaller. Maybe, have the smaller rear doors or whatever. But essentially keep 80 to 90% of what the Cybercab has, just basically transform it so that it's a little bit more digestible for the regular public, or just keep it the same, right? It's up to Tesla what they want to do. But that car is going to be built on the same line. You can say, hey, sir or madame, here's a car that you can lease, rent, finance, borrow, right? $500 a month, $600 a month, whatever, $400 a month. Come up with a name. By the way, this vehicle, you don't have to drive. You just get in the car, you press a button, and the car will just go. The car will just take you where you need to go from parking spot to parking spot. Oh, and by the way, when you reach your destination, you don't even have to park it. Just get out of the car, and the car will go park itself. It will find a spot and it will go park itself. And when you're ready to go, you can summon it to you, and then it will come pick you up. So if you're somebody who lives in a city, like for example, I'm in downtown Austin right now, or damn near downtown Austin, almost at Congress here. You know, I'm gonna go work at Capital Factory. Capital Factory, freaking sometimes the penny ass to find parking. If I want to park at the building, it's like $50, $60 usually for the amount of time I spend in the building. Crazy. Okay, maybe I don't do that. Maybe what I do is that I go to the front door, which I would have done with the Robotaxi if it was available for me. I go to the front door, and then I just tell the car, go find parking. Just go somewhere, go find the parking, right? And then when you're there, send me a picture or something from your side camera, your front camera, of the zone that you're in or something, right? So I can go into the app and then add the parking for you to be able to park in that spot. Or, you know, park far away enough, maybe give me a setting or something that says, hey, find a spot without, you know, a meter. That's free parking. I don't care if it parks, you know, 10 miles away or 20 miles away or 50 miles away, theoretically, right? I'm gonna have to pay for electricity to move it. But if the cost of electricity is less than the cost of parking, I'm gonna have it do that, right? And then I will tell it, hey, come pick me up by 3:30. Come pick me up by 4 o'clock. I'll be there. Why do I care where they're parked? I don't care, right? And then on top of that, because Tesla has things like Tesla insurance, because Tesla has things like their charging, right? The charging that they do, where they have these plans where you pay a flat fee every month, and then you can charge basically as much as you want. And then on top of that, they own their own service network. So they can say, hey, that $500, $600, $400 a month, whatever that number is, not only do you not have to drive, but if anything ever happens to the car, we'll take care of it for you. We got it. You don't got to worry about it, right? Tesla is in a prime position to be able to do that. And not only that, the monthly payment for this type of transportation unit, right? It's not even a car at that point. It's a pod. It's a transportation unit that takes you from point A to point B. As I'm driving right next to Zook's vehicles while my Cybertruck's driving itself. And, you know, they have people in the driver's seats. Fascinating stuff, huh? The monthly payment for that type of solution matches or is better than your comparable Camrys, your comparable Accords, your comparable Corollas, your comparable gas cars, okay? And you don't have to worry about a down payment. You don't have to worry about nothing. It's just, listen, $400, $500, $600 a month. And you go from point A to point B. You don't even have to pay attention. This is a product that nobody else has. And I think that product, in the next 3 to 5 years, my guess, I could be 100% wrong, but you know, I'm gonna make a little prediction here. My guess is that Tesla will make more money from that product than they'll make from Robotaxi. That's my guess. And the reason why is because regulations won't have been caught up to where Tesla is from a technical perspective. But Tesla can still profit, can still make money, can still offer a service that capitalizes on that technical feat that they've achieved with self-driving transportation units by transforming what it means to own a vehicle or to use a vehicle. The math completely changes. You no longer have to worry about driving the car or maintaining the car. Tesla will take care of it for you. It could even drive itself to the service center, right? It could even, hey, listen, my tires are due. Oh yeah, just, I gotta go, you know, I need help. I need, you know, one of the cameras is kind of messed up or whatever. Or hey, listen, I need to clean my cameras. Maybe drag itself to the freaking car wash. I don't know. But that's what starts to happen. And it's fascinating to think about that because that future is not that far away. I think a lot of people that are not paying close attention to that, you know, to this story, they don't think this is that you know, that close, but it is. It's very close, actually. It's extremely close. You just have to go watch the videos and sort of watch what's happening, you know, and just listen to what the company is saying. The thing that Elon just said in the latest earnings call, now that, you know, we've essentially at the cusp of unsupervised self-driving, I'm very comfortable in massively ramping up production. What does that say? I expect unsupervised self-driving to be a huge thing for us to drive a ton of demand. And I think that's how they'll drive the demand. They won't drive it necessarily through the Robotaxi network where it's confined to a geofence. They'll do it by selling people vehicles where they don't have to pay attention anymore and they can just go from point A to point B and the car will just take them there. Fascinating development. Tesla is definitely not done selling cars with steering wheels and pedals. They're definitely going to be building Cybercab or Cybercab-like vehicles with steering wheels and pedals under this scenario, right? Which I'm pretty confident they're going to do. To celebrate this momentous occasion, I've created a new shirt. You can go check it out on the merch store. Look at this beautiful model that's showcasing this shirt for me. On that same website, you can sign up for exclusive videos, exclusive content, exclusive Q&As with me, live streams with the community forums in that website. Go check it out if you're interested. And I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, Rebellion Air, Matt and Bradford. Those guys you probably know very well, especially if you follow the Tesla story very closely. They have an investment firm that help Tesla investors achieve their financial goals. So instead of dealing with these, people, investment firms that don't understand the Tesla story and they'll scold you for having an outsized position, these guys fully understand the story. They spend so much time researching the story. They'll employ tactics like covered calls, adding in trim in to maximize your Tesla position. And given that they've stayed on top of the Musk industry and everything that Tesla's doing so closely, they're very well equipped to help you reach your financial goals. So if you're interested and you have at least $2 million in Tesla stock, please go out to rebellionaire.com/Farzad, rebellionaire.com/Farzad, and that's how they'll know that I sent you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.